just a little addendum to this video I just made, because I can't ever get anything in 10 minutes, so I always go over. Another point I wanted to make is that the ultimate goal of the current administration, and possibly the next one, the ultimate goal is regime change in Iran. That is the stated goal in the documents coming from the project for the New American Century. And it is very, very clearly stated that this is the goal. And there are still many, many neocons in very influential positions in our government. And they will continue to play a role for some time to come, no matter who gets into office. There are many things going on behind the scenes that, you know, us ordinary citizens aren't being told or being privy to. But it is a replay of the, in my opinion, it is a replay of the entire situation that led up to the Iraq War, namely to convince the public, the Western public, that negotiations have taken place, that diplomacy has been pursued, and then at the very end, that diplomacy was unsatisfactory. And the Israeli lobby in American politics is very, very strong. And Israel is itching to strike Iran because they view any kind of nuclear technology going on in that country as an ultimate threat to their existence. So the pressure is being ratcheted up point by point, despite the diplomacy, so-called diplomacy going on, which is being undermined virtually at every turn. So, you know, I do believe that Cy Hirsch, in his article, his recent article, which you know, he's been on top of these issues too. It is correct when he said about Scott Ritter's book. The one thing you have to remember about Scott Ritter is that he was right. And this was when Ritter made his assessments regarding the weapons, the weapons that didn't exist in Iraq, which were then used as a pretense to invade that country, and you know, the whole connection with the war on terror and so on. It's all a smokescreen. So the ultimate goal is U.S. hegemony in the Middle East and the securing of resources such as oil and gas, and basically having a dominance over the region. And as we can see now in Iraq, you know, the big oil companies have moved in, and they're going to be having some very, very lucrative contracts. And this is not just U.S. oil companies; these are international conglomerates. And I would have to say, you know, Germany and the Europeans have vested interests in the Middle East as well. So they have their own agenda. They have far-reaching economic contracts with that country, as does China. And China is, of course, a much bigger picture, which is also mentioned in the project for the New American Century. But China actually has leverage, a lot of leverage. And so hopefully they will prevent any kind of war in the near future in that region, because essentially, while it wouldn't be in their interest to dump the US dollar at this point, it would carry considerable risk for their own economy if they did that. But they also signed on very, very important economic agreements with Iran and other countries in that region. These are, contracts that go into the billions, lasting for 25 to 50 years. So, and since the entire region is now thinking about switching the petrodollar to the euro, it becomes a very unique situation. So let's hope everything works out peacefully because of China's leverage, not because of some crazy event that the US or Israel is going to manufacture over there. Okay, thanks. Good night.